Your insurance company has put you on a 3-year insurance probation, and my mind is blown. And I say, how does a guy with a perfect driving record, somebody who drives the speed limit everywhere, get put on insurance probation for 3 years?
Zeus, hey.
Oh yeah, you guys love that stuff. Zeus, the Gray Ghost, Instagram, check it out. Hi everyone. Most of you may know me as August, or some of you may know me as Augie. Today, I want to tell you a little story about how I am on insurance probation. It'll help me get to know you a little better. When you drop a like, subscribe, and comment below, tell me what you think about this story. So as you can see today, we're in my barn. You can see my 240 SX down there. It's LS swapped. It's a drift project. You can see my 1968 Chevy C20 down there. And I do have a Model A body. It's a 1929 sitting in the corner too. And that's a tractor that came with a farmstead. And anyway, we're sitting here in the barn. I thought it'd be a good setting just to talk to you guys one-on-one, get to know me just a little bit better. So I want to tell you a story. I've hit quite a few animals in my life. Mind you, I have a very clean driving record. I have nothing on my record. I have no speeding tickets. I have no other tickets of any other kind. I have no warrants for my arrest. I have a perfectly clean driving record other than a tint ticket or maybe two. So how do you get to be put on insurance probation and have a clean driving record? That is something I want to explain to you here in this video. Let's back up a little ways. So I started out, I lived about 50 miles away from work. North Dakota, that's about a good hour drive each way from work. So I was driving 100 miles a day, and I worked, at that time I was working day shift, so I would go into work, I'd leave my house at about 5:30 in the morning, it's dark out, and I would go into work. And you know, driving to work every once in a while, you'd see a deer hop out in front of you, no big deal. One day, I hit that deer. So, there marks number one. August had his first accident, he hit a deer. No big deal, people hit deer all the time, it's an animal. File insurance claim, we get insurance money, we fix the car, we're well on our way, everything's kosher. Fixing our car, driving to work, no big deal. So I was into motorcycles for quite a while, and I really like riding motorcycles. I still do like riding motorcycles. And I've had a couple motorcycles in my life. I had a 1901 Harley Davidson 1000. I had a 2009 Harley Davidson 1200 Sportster. And I was riding that Sportster a lot with a good buddy of mine, and I was like, man, your Road King looks really comfortable. My butt hurts after riding for a long time. I want a Road King. So I went out and I bought a Road King, brand spanking new. It had 7 miles on it. So I bought that Road King and I rode that thing forever. I put 10,000 miles on it in the first season, and I bought it in July. So that was about 3 or 4 months. I put 10,000 miles on that bike. I had the time of my life. Then the next year, I moved into my house, which was 50 miles away from work, and I ride it all over the place. I ride it with my buddies. I drive it to work every once in a while. I go get groceries. I'd run errands. I do all sorts of stuff on my bike. One morning, I'm waking up. We had to be at work at 5, so I was leaving my house at about 3:30 in the morning. It's pretty dark out. And I'm riding along, and no big deal. I go through next town over. So I got about 15 miles into the ride. And I'm pulling out of this town. I'm going from 25 miles an hour, going all the way up to 70. And I set the cruise on the bike, cruising along. It's 4 o'clock in the morning now. Everything's quiet. It's warm. We're having a nice, beautiful ride. Pow! I hit a deer on my Harley Davidson Road King at 70 miles an hour. Here I am, here to tell the tale. I flew off that bike. I really don't remember much about the accident. After I I remember skidding down the pavement, watching my bike follow me, and there's sparks shooting up all over the place. I remember that moment very clearly. And I get up after I get done sliding, and I look around in disbelief because I can't believe I just hit a freaking deer. And there was a car that was behind me. He slows up, and it's like, hey man, get in the car. I'll drive you to town. It was a guy that I actually worked with. He was going to work too. And anyway, so he puts me in the car and he hands me a tennis shoe because apparently one of my tennis shoes went flying off when I hit this freaking deer. And I go to the hospital and I get all fixed up, no big deal. One of my buddies actually drove me. I had to wake him up at 4 in the morning so he could drive me to the hospital. And anyway, we get back and we're taking my bike back into town so we can assess the damage. And we figured out that it was actually 3 deer. This one deer was pregnant with 2 other deer. So now August has killed 4 deer, 2 accidents, 4 deer, all deer hits, right? No big deal. People hit deer all the time. We file another insurance claim. I get paid for the bike, which was totaled. And la-di-da, we're well on our way. So, next up, later in the same year, we had a pretty bad thunderstorm at my house, and I had a single cab F-250 diesel to haul my race car back and forth to the racetrack and stuff. So anyway, I got this thing. It was, you know, I had it looking pretty nice. I had some pretty decent wheels on it. I paint matched everything, the windows tinted, put a stereo in it, etc., etc. So anyway, one day, pretty bad storm came rolling through, and it happened to hail. And I was at work, didn't think much of it. Came back from work, didn't think much of it. Came back outside the other day, or that day, and I was like, hey, man, it hailed last night. I should look at all my vehicles because, you know, I got a couple vehicles in my life, you know what I'm saying? So the garage was full of other vehicles, but that pickup was outside. And wouldn't you know it, I had some dimples in the hood and the roof and the A-pillar and stuff. So I was like, man, it hailed real bad last night. I got dimples all over my pickup. So, you know, file insurance claim, no big deal. We file insurance claim, we get paid for the hail, we get her all fixed up, everything's kosher, it's all good. So then what happens is August starts going to college. Now, when you're going to college, you got to drive to college, you got to drive home. And then when you also go to work, you got to drive to work and you got to drive home. So August was driving 30 miles to college, 30 miles back home. August was then driving 50 miles to work, 50 miles back home. So if you do a little math here, August was driving 160 miles a day. Yeah, you heard that right. August was driving 160 miles a day, going to college full time, doing like 18, 20, 22 credits, a couple semesters, you know. And I was working 40, 50, 58 hours a week, something like that, and driving 160 miles a day. So at that time, I was driving to school in the dark. I'd go from school to work and stuff during the daytime, and then I'd work till 11 p.m. at night, and I'd drive home at 11 p.m. at night in the dark, go to bed. So I'm driving, you know, quite a bit of distance at night, about 80 miles, you know, 30 in the morning when it's dark, and 50 at night when it's dark. And you know what happens when it's dark? You don't see quite as well. Animals are active, you know. We're back to the animal thing, right? So August bought a car because we're driving, you know, 160 miles a day. I'm not going to drive my diesel pickup. I wanted a car that I got great mileage. I wouldn't have to maintain all that much. It's not going to let me down. All that stuff. I want this to make it through my college career and I wouldn't have to worry about it. And this car that I'm talking about, it did it. It was an exciting car. It was a Ford Focus. It wasn't an exciting car, but it was very reliable. It was fairly comfy. And, you know, it got me to and from work every day. That's what I wanted. So anyway, August gets a new car. We're driving this car back and forth to work. The first week I started school. I drive this thing to school, to work, to home, school, to work, home, etc. First week I'm driving this thing to school, to work, to home. Bam! I hit another freaking deer. Wouldn't you believe that? So anyway, we file insurance claim, we get the car fixed up, we get some money from the insurance company, you know, no big deal, everything's kosher. Not a big deal. So anyway, we're driving this thing, driving to work, driving to school, driving to work, driving to school, driving to work, driving to school, driving home, putting all these freaking miles on it. Keep in mind, I'm up to my 5th deer, right? So August is driving to school one day, in the morning, in the dark, sunrise, you know, sun's in your eyes, rising up, looking through the windshield, sun's in your eyes, driving to work. Bam! August hits another freaking deer. Same year. Yeah, believe it or not. Same year. Same car, Ford Focus. Another deer. All right. We'll file another insurance claim. We'll get the car fixed back up. We'll keep driving it back and forth to school. No big deal. Everything's kosher. That's what people do, right? Not a big deal. Now, keep in mind, animal accidents are not anybody's fault. Okay? Animal runs out in front of you. You hit it. No big deal. You file an insurance claim. Insurance gives you money, get the car fixed up. You're back on the road. Insurance doesn't think that animal accidents are your fault. Mine, yours, no big deal. What happens then is I go another year. I go a whole nother year from that time driving this car. I put 100,000 miles on this car in 2 years. Yeah, that's right. 100,000 miles in 2 years. That's how much driving I was doing. That's why I wanted a reliable car that was comfortable, wouldn't have to maintain, that sort of thing. All I had to do was oil changes and tires. Love it. Can't get much more low maintenance than that unless you drive a Tesla. We all want a Tesla, am I right? Anyway, so I go a whole nother year from hitting this last deer. Now let's do the math. 1 with the first car, another accident with the Harley, up to 3. That was a 3 deer in 1. So I'm up to 4 now. Then I hit a deer right away with the new car, so that's 5. I hit a deer right away after that, which is 6. And then I filed the hail claim on my pickup. So we're up to 5 claims, 6 deer. And you know what happens that next April in another year? Bam! August hits another deer on his way home from work. Yeah, that's right. I hit another deer with the Ford Focus. So the Ford Focus is now responsible for 3 deer. So that totals 7 deer in a period of, if I remember this right, 4 years. 7 deer, 4 years. So that's 1 claim for the first deer, 1 claim for the Harley, 1 claim for the hail, 1 claim for the first deer on the Focus, another claim for the second deer on the Focus, and finally, another claim for the third deer on the Focus. That's 6 claims in about 3 years, maybe 4. I can't remember exactly. So I file another insurance claim, get the money back, get the car fixed up, everything's all good, right? Yeah, everything's all good. My insurance lady calls me up a few days after that. She says, "Yo, August, what's going on, man?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm good. I just got my car fixed up. Real happy you could help me out. Thanks." And she's like, "All right, we got to talk to you. You have a perfectly clean driving record at this time. Tickets don't stay on your record forever. So I've had a couple tint tickets in my life, no big deal. They stay on your record for a little while and then they go away. So I've got a perfectly clean driving record now. I don't have any speeding tickets. I don't have any warrants or anything like that. I've got current tags on my pickup. I've got good plates. I got current tags on my car. I've got good plates. It's all good." And she says, "Your insurance company has put you on a 3-year insurance probation." And my mind is blown. And I say, how does a guy with a perfect driving record, somebody who drives the speed limit everywhere, get put on insurance probation for 3 years? Now let's speed up a little bit, okay? I am about a year and a half into this probation. I am still on insurance probation. I'm 27 years old. I am on insurance probation with a perfectly clean driving record. All right? So anyway, my insurance lady goes on to tell me that it's not about the type of claim. Keep in mind, animal claims, right? Animal claims, they are not counting against you as far as your insurance goes. But she did say the number of claims is what got me into this situation. I had 6 claims in less than 4 years. I don't remember if it was 3 years, a little over 3 years, 4 years. We'll just say less than 4 years. I had 6 insurance claims. And I don't even want to total up the amount of money that insurance had to pay me out in that amount of time. I mean, I totaled a 2-year-old Harley Davidson. I mean, they paid out okay. So me, August, I get this phone call at 26 years old with a clean driving record. My insurance lady tells me, you are on 3-year insurance probation. If you file one more claim for anything in the next 3 years, your insurance company is going to drop you. And I'm thinking, oh, whoa, this is some pretty hefty stuff. I got a lot of cars. I got, homeowners insurance. I got renters insurance. I've got a bunch of vehicles. I've got 3 trailers I carry some sort of insurance on. I mean, I got a lot of insurance for these people. I've got life insurance, everything. And these guys are going to drop me if I get one more claim for anything in the next 3 years. Absolutely crazy. So we've managed so far. It's been a year and a half, knock on wood. I have no current claims. I'm hoping I have no future claims for another at least year and a half. And we're going to get through this. Anyway, guys, I wanted to get you into that story because I think it's kind of a funny story. I think it's a little bit interesting. I think there could be some value and knowledge pulled out of that. And I wanted to share that with you guys into the channel. It helps you guys get to know me a little bit better. It'll help me get to know you a little better. When you drop a like, subscribe, and comment below, tell me what you think about this story. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on the Mickelson Racing Channel.